Brilliant, Majeed. We'll come back to this, but let's switch gears a little. River State politics. There's been a lot of crisis, different crises. And once it seems like one has been managed and the fire is doused, it will rear its ugly head, again. So recently, another round of impeachment proceedings began. But then, mercifully, when the president returned, he called both gladiators to the villa and asked the FCT minister to sheath his sword, asked Fubara, Governor Fubara, to, as it were, succumb and submit himself to the leadership of former Governor Wike, who is the FCT minister. And the question, Majeed, is that from where exactly in the Nigerian constitution did the president have the authority to instruct? Because it wasn't an appeal, it was an instruction to Governor Fubara to submit, to accept that Governor Wike is the political leader of Rivers State. Where did the president get that authority from to make such pronouncements?
From Fubara.
How do you mean?
From Fubara's incompetence, from Fubara's docility, from Fubara's naivety, from Fubara's inability to put his house in order, from Fubara's lack of political acumen. Just Fubara donated his right to talk to the president.
Please explain.
It was Fubara, the first one that actually ran to the president.
Yes.
In the first time to call them for a peace meeting. It was Fubara. Look, in fact, I'm sure the president was very disappointed in Fubara.
Wow.
Because if you look at events after the lifting of the emergency rule in Rivers State and his statement, and how the APC leadership rallied around Fubara, one would have thought that Fubara would have learned his lessons after 6 months in exile. They rallied around him. They served him the ball, the net, the goalpost. Yeah. The goalkeeper that was supposed to be there, Wiki, was already running around the midfield and momentarily lost focus. All that was required was for Fubara to just kick the ball into the net. And he turned around and shot the ball right back into the field, into Wiki's hands. The secretary of the party, APC, issued a stern warning.
National Secretary.
To Minister Wiki, to say, look, you are not resigned as minister. Since you have just with Rivers, or leave the governor alone. The question is, what did the governor do? How did he seize this opportunity to immediately concretize his hold on the APC structure, display the level of competence and political sagacity that could have divided the president's attention to say, okay, at this stage, I may not want to throw Wiki under the bus, but you guys must coexist together on the same table. He didn't do that. He went to bed. Look, the day he was declared leader of the party, first by the national chairman, and then the secretary, and many other stakeholders, the kind of rally Fubara should have organized in Port Harcourt should have been the mother of all rallies, where his allies like Secondus, Limegba, and the other group would have decamped with him to the APC.
Sorry, Majeed. Let me ask this so that you take it together. The tradition, political culture in Nigeria, political party culture, the tradition is that a leader, an elected the governor of a state, of a particular party, is the political leader in that state. Nobody else.
Yes.
In Plateau State, the national party chairman of the APC is Professor Oluwade.
Yes.
He has not claimed because he's the national party chairman, he is the leader of the political party in Plateau State.
Because Mustwang is a competent
governor. Now,
and I'm sure
sorry, Majeed. Fubara haven't decamped because the reason why Fubara decamped.
Who did Fubara decamp with?
With some of his people.
Who are they? Name them. Fubara was registered as 001 in the government house, and that was the end of it. The party propped you up. I said, you are the leader. Yes. I said he should have organized
of all rallies
that would have shown the whole world that Rivers should have me. He didn't. And Wiki was what I started going around to organize rallies across the local government of the state. Wiki was who shared the rice and other dispersed other patronages for politicians in the state. It was Wiki. It was Wiki that was still struggling for appointments for River State indigenous at the federal level. While that conversation was going on, Wiki secured the chairmanship of NMDPRA for Magros Abbey. Who has Fubara secured even an AC appointment for? And we know what it takes to secure these appointments in Nigeria. You are holding the key to the treasury of 600 billion naira. If you knew you wanted to challenge Wiki, play the game better than him. Let me tell you, the president waited for many weeks. The president had, when his own secretary of his party issued that bombshell to Wiki, he heard it, he was aware.
Of course.
But why did he wait for this long for acting finally? He was waiting to see what Fubara will do.
Seize the initiative.
What are you going to do about this matter?
The power has been given to you.
Fubara has proven once and only that the only competence he has is to provoke Wiki.
Wow.
And with that kind of statements, maybe one time because he's barking like a dog and blah blah blah, the Wiki will gather all the media houses in Nigeria and, respond. That has been his only competence. How come he's not able to win over one single person from the opposing camp in the assembly? How? If Tinubu is able to win over people from PDP, from APC, from Labour Party to some party, including in Kano, if Tinubu is able to bring out Yusuf from Kwasia, how can the governor not bring out a member from under Wike, a city governor of Rivers State? Something is wrong with the leadership style of Fubara.
Majeed, in all of this you have said, what should have been his appropriate response to all of this?
Should have seized the initiative. He should have showed his competence and political sagacity at being able indeed to manage and hold the party structure in the state by bringing more people under the fold, to demonstrate the fact that Rivers people were with him. Because he had one advantage ahead of Wiki. While Wiki had the political structure and is a political heavyweight, but the people appear to be on the side of Fubara. And it's natural. People take out the underdog. He should have mobilized the people of Rivers into APC through a rally that will shake the entire country. And in that rally, the likes of Limegba, the likes of Secondus, the likes of Abise Kibo and all that, they would have declared that day that because of our son, Governor Fubara, in whom we are well pleased, and whose leadership we now accept, we have all come to the APC to support Tinubu's re-election. And you begin to show, look, marching ground, show that indeed you can lead a party. You can be trusted to lead a party, to carry people along enough. Again, this matter was a choice. So if you didn't want to go through this route, it's either you should have resigned from this governorship or don't go into this battle with Wiki. But for failing to do this, I mean, how can you say you have decamped to the APC? You didn't decamp to one single, not even Edison in a year, has decamped to the APC, chief of staff. Not even the former SSG has decamped. As we speak, within the Fubara camp, those that supported Fubara when he had the problem with Wiki, there are divisions, there are dissatisfactions within the camp. There has not shown them enough gratitude and appreciation. As we speak, that problem is simmering. Whereas on the Wiki side, he hasn't lost to one person. So if you are the president of the country, after watching this level of naivety on this side and the level of competence on this other side, who can you entrust your faith in that state to mobilize an important state like Rivers?
Perhaps a response to this would be that Governor Wike then, when he was looking for a successor,
was deliberate
in choosing this person
because
who knew he had no capacity to stand up to him when the chips were down.
I've told you, I've long realized this. That Wike was very right in picking Fubara. He knows Fubara. In and out. And he knows that he cannot do anything to him. He knows that Fubara is such a man that will be on the side of the river, on the bank of the river, and be washing his hands with spittle. He knows. Rivers people should now develop the resolution to put an end to the orderly political dynasty in that state. It happened in Anambra. I keep repeating this point. In 2003, when the federalism ruled Anambra State, anybody did you couldn't pay salary for 3 years. Yeah. Public services were crumbled. Anambra people decided to ditch the PDP at the level of gubernatorial elections.
And the Uba brothers, and the Uba...
Let's enough of this nonsense. And then they voted for a P2B on our platform. And since 2003, Anambra has remained with APGA. And you have seen
the trajectory, development.
Between then and today, Anambra governors have been able to provide basic services devoid of interference from anywhere. Now, Abia did it in 2023, when finally they put an end to Ojikalu political cartel and elected an Alasoti Oluwade party platform. I'm saying, see what has happened. Rivers people, if you know you do not like Wiki and his antics, your choice is not Fubara. Can't be. Fubara is not that Messiah. It's not. Zero down on any other party of your choice. Support an Omolu be reverse man. And vote for such a person as a people. But must be ready to sacrifice your pocket. Don't collect money. You must be able to resist money bags and all that. Vote for such a person that will come and now serve Rivers people. And the person does well, you sustain that system at least at the gubernatorial level. Rivers people are educated enough to be able to do this. If they cannot do this, they have themselves to blame. But until then, Fubara is no match at all for Governor Wike, for former Governor Wike. Absolutely not. So I won't blame the president if he decides that look for his party's interest. Fubara cannot lead his political movement in the state. He should only be tolerated until he finishes his first term. But Mr. Wike should continue. You can't blame the president. Because, you see, the hood does not make the monk. That you are a governor does not necessarily make you a leader. You have to demonstrate that leadership in an extraordinary manner, be the governor. Other governors have done it. Look at Kano. When Yusuf decided to leave the NMPP, he left with a number of people. Some didn't go, some didn't go with him, but a number of people left with him. Look at the cabinet. Look at the man in Bayelsa. When he was leaving the PDP, he left. He had the godfather. But he left with a chunk of the cabinet and some members of the political establishment within the PDP in Bayelsa State. Tell me the person that Fubara has brought into the APC since the day he was registered as a member of the APC in Government House River State as OO1. And in any case, the leader of the APC is President Tinubu. Yeah. So the day Fubara himself made the decision to go and join APC, he should be ready to submit his decisions as well to a higher one, which is the president of the country, as the national leader of the party. And national leader has spoken, he has looked at both of them and realized that this one cannot pilot my affairs in this state. I'll allow this other man to continue.
Majeed, let me ask you quickly. In the remaining 1.5 years of Fubara's first term, how is he able to deliver on the oath of office he took to use Rivers' resources to serve and deliver for the people? How is he able to do that? And secondly, you know, Fubara's wish or desire to get a second term, you know, it's hanging on a thread now.
Of course.
And now you have actually said the Rivers elite, the people of Rivers, should toe the line of Anambra first and then Abia second, you know, by charting their own course, finding a suitable son of Rivers State who has the capacity as a leader and as an administrator, astute administrator to deliver. So the first question, how does Fubara deliver before his term expires? Can he get second term? Who would you recommend Rivers people to, you know, pitch their tent with in 2027? Again, as an independent, you know.
The Rivers people should actually chart a new course.
Okay.
Enough of this mess. Yes. Aren't they embarrassed? Enough. They have become the headache of the country. They should put an end to this so that Rivers people money will be used for Rivers people. Rivers people are poor. They are hungry.
In the midst of huge...
In the midst of... And their resources being filtered away in Abuja by their errant sons. Put an end to this. Fubara is not a transformational leader. You know, my problem is, if you think Wike is a villain, Fubara isn't a hero. He's equally villainous. So for me, Fubara has been proven to be an incompetent villain. Because Wike is a very competent one. You know where he stands? I know he can do. Yeah. This other guy is incompetent even than being a villain. Otherwise, why will he go and join APC in the first place? Meaning he's not a transformational leader. He's not a visionary. So he has no capacity to take these people to the promised land. Let him just manage and tiptoe to the end of his tenure and give way. But Rivers people must now begin to plan for the next election. They must not allow any member of the Odili dynasty to come to power again. They should not allow Wike to install a governor for them. They should elect their own governor. But it will take discipline. They must be able to resist patronage coming from this other side. The problem has been most of these elders, the reason why Wike will climb this rostrum and pour venom on them is that he has seen them finish in the local palace.
I won't compromise.
They have eaten from his pot of soup. So going to the 2027 election, please don't go to Wike's kitchen and eat from his pot of soup so that you can elect your own governor. If indeed what you seek is not self-aggrandizement, but the good of Rivers. Rivers is sophisticated enough to be able to come together and defeat a Wike. But for you to defeat him, you must resist going to his kitchen to fetch from his soup pot. Because he's a very good cook.
Yeah.
And everywhere is chill with him. So
Majeed, this is very interesting. This is very, very interesting.